Have you ever heard about 5 human actions which can't be controlled? So here they are. 1. Sneezing. Sneezing is the act of expelling a sudden and uncontrollable burst of air through the nose and mouth. It can occur for a variety of reasons that have in common an irritation of the lining of the nose or throat. It is rarely a sign of a serious illness. A sneeze can be a wet, slimy mess. It can happen when we're allergic, sick, staring at a bright light, or, compulsively, when we're anxious. Why do we sneeze? Simply put, a sneeze is the best way for the body to clear its passages so you can keep breathing clean air. But what causes sneezing? When irritants such as mucus from a cold or the flu, germs, dust, pollen, animal dander, or pollutants, just to name just a few, infiltrate the nose lining, you take a massive inhalation. Then the chest muscles tighten and pressure builds. The tongue pushes against the roof of the mouth, forcing breath to come out fast through the nose, and, achoo. Sneezing can be annoying, fun, and funny. About 1 in 4 people feel the need to sneeze when they look at a bright light. Others sneeze after orgasm, and some associate the relief of sneezing with sexual release. So it's not surprising that sneezing, which transmits nasal droplets and saliva through the air, is one of the primary ways infectious diseases, including cold and flu viruses, are transmitted. That's why people are told to sneeze into a tissue or their elbows during cold and flu season. 2. Yawning. A yawn is an involuntary motion that involves us opening our mouth widely, taking in a bunch of air, and then exhaling. The entire process takes an average of about 6 seconds. It's not uncommon to also close our eyes for part of the 6 seconds, and sometimes our eyes will water.
Are you yawning?
While we know that part of the reason we do it is because we're tired, it's not the only reason. Theories abound ranging from a lack of oxygen in the brain to sheer boredom. And some scientists have claimed that we yawn in response to other people in our environment who have status. In the caveman days, when the alpha of the group would yawn, it was a signal that it was time for bed. All of these theories have some legitimacy, but let's separate fact from fiction.
Yawn.
Is yawning contagious? You already know the answer to this one, right? It's one of the most contagious conditions around, second only to laughing. Scientists have discovered that around half of us will yawn just by seeing it on video. We can even pass yawns back and forth between different species of animals. More often than not, when I yawn, my dog does too, and vice versa. There's also evidence suggesting that the closer relationship we have with someone, the more likely we are to mirror their yawn. If you're worried that you can't stop yawning, you should see your doctor soon. You shouldn't ignore excessive yawning even though yawning is a common reflex. 3. Blinking. Blinking is essential to the overall health and well-being of your eyes. Unfortunately, many of us often engage in certain behaviors, such as reading and staring at computer screens, which make us blink a lot less. Blinking is good for your eyes. It keeps them clean and makes sure they don't get too dry. The number of times you blink changes with age. Newborns only blink about 2 times a minute. That number goes up as they grow. Teens blink around 15 times a minute. It's about the same in adults.
Maybe he's blinking when you're blinking.
A blink helps us to lubricate and nourish the eyes. Another thing to further support this is to actually frequently close your eyes in full. This will also give them a chance to really absorb the nourishments in your tear film, and to simply have a rest. For optimal effects, blink a few times and then keep your eyes closed for a few minutes on the last blink.
And blinking. He's lying and twitching and blinking.
You may think that blinking doesn't really do all that much for your overall health, but that is untrue. It is an action that may seem insignificant, but is actually vital to your overall health. The older we get, the less efficient our eyes will be, so it becomes even more important to blink regularly. 4. Burping. Have you ever thought of burps as mouth farts? If not, you're welcome. Not only do both of these actions help rid you of extra air trapped inside your body, they're also totally normal but sometimes still embarrassing. Burping or belching, also known as ructus or eructation, is a process in which excess gas is let out through the mouth. It may have an odor or sometimes may be odorless, and it is also accompanied by a sound. It is basically the body's way of giving relief to the abdomen from excess air that is trapped. A burp or belch can help ease an upset stomach. But if it happens often, it can be a sign of a health problem. If you burp a lot, it's probably time to find out why. Why does it happen? When you swallow your food, it goes through a tube called your esophagus and into your stomach. There your body uses acid, bacteria, and chemicals called enzymes to break it down into nutrients it uses for energy. If you swallow air along with your food, or if you drink something like a soda or beer that has bubbles in it, those gases can come back up through your esophagus. That's a burp. For humans, burping can be caused by normal eating processes, or as a side effect of other medical conditions. What causes it? Carbonated beverages and swallowing air are the most common reasons people burp. Most of the time, that gas doesn't make it to your stomach. Instead, it stays trapped in your esophagus until it comes back up. 5. Farting. Farting is a natural process. It involves the release of gases from the anus. When we eat, sometimes too much, our digestive system breakdowns the food that enters our stomach through several enzymes. There is some space filled with air and slowly converted into hot gases. Their gases need to be released from our body. You could not stop your farting completely but reduced to some extents. Is it bad if you fart a lot? Ultimately, releasing wind is a normal bodily function, one which the NHS describes as passing gas from the digestive system out of the back passage. Gases build up in the body when you both ingest food. Air is often swallowed alongside food, water and saliva, and digest food. When gut bacteria digest nutrients, they produce hydrogen, methane and carbon dioxide, and these need to be got rid of by farting or burping. The average person farts 14 to 18 times per day, but you may not even be aware that you're doing it because wind is usually released in small quantities and it is typically odorless. But, if the gases in your body contain stinky components such as sulfur, then you, and anyone within a close proximity, are sure going to know about it.
Who there called my name?